So whenever I play Star Citizen, I end up in prison often because I find the unlawful missions, the pirate quests, working for Ruto, the Ninetales, Vaughn, assassination missions, disabling comm stats, trespassing. They're some of the most fun and engaging missions to do in the verse right now, and it also has a lot of player interaction, so it's great for the stream. Now, there are two main ways to get out of jail, either by doing lawful things like repairing oxygen kiosks or gathering minerals, or trying to escape either on your own and getting a friend to pick you up, or doing the escape mission that Ruto provides you deep in the caves. To accept this mission, you need to go deep enough in the mining caves where the communication relay no longer connects with you. Wait a few minutes and Ruto will actually make contact with you and providing a quest called Need an Out. Whenever you accept this mission, this triggers a solo ability to escape prison without the need of other player interaction and completely clear your crime stat and fugitive status. It sounds almost too good to be true because it kind of is. Since the introduction of PES, I have escaped from prison over a dozen times, and there's never been a situation where the land vehicle, the Ursas, both of them, have actually spawned correctly where I've been able to use them. So this quest was basically impossible to do and a giant waste of time. But I felt deep down in my heart that you could make it there on foot and survive, complete the mission and escape without the need of the vehicles, which means you are no longer at the will of the server spawning the vehicles correctly. You can do this every single time without worrying about them spawning. So with all that being said, let's get right to it. How to complete Need an Out on foot 100% solo without any assistance from other players. Step number 1 is accepting the mission Need an Out. So go into the mining caves, go to about level 8 or 9, see the comm array disappear in your top right corner, wait a minute or two, and Ruto will send you the quest. In my opinion, Route 3 is by far the fastest way to get in and out of the caves, but you can choose whichever one that you want. They're all basically the same, just with slightly different layouts. Step 2 is gathering the supplies. You are going to be looking for 12 med pens, 3 oxygen pens, and 1 bottle of water. And you can collect those by knocking out the AI that are inside the caves and looting their backpack. To do this, all you need to do is press middle mouse wheel and you'll actually just punch them in the gut and knock them out. Open up the backpack and loot everything that you need. If you are unable to get all the supplies, you can take the Hadanite and the Dolivine, I believe it's called, and sell it to the kiosks while you're running back into the living quarters after you've accepted the mission. And if you're really keen, you can accept the oxygen reset mission at the very beginning and then choose that path to run to level 8 or 9 to accept the Ruto mission and reset the oxygen kiosk along the way. That will give you merits to buy a significant amount of the med pens and the oxygen pens that you need, but you might not be able to buy enough. I found that whenever I try to purchase 10 or more, I actually hit a purchase limit, so you will have to knock out a couple of the AI to get the supplies. At the beginning of every mining path, you have the ability to sell the minerals. That's how you can get the merits. And before you enter the mine, there's kiosks on the left, and that's where you can purchase med pens and oxygen, and then also water. The water isn't as important, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Once you have the mission, Need an Out, and you have the necessary supplies, it's now time to begin your escape. Go to the beginning of the mining caves and take a look through the windows at the security station. You're going to be seeing a code that is on the screen. Remember that code because you're going to need it to turn off the fan. The fan is located at the corners of the living quarters. One fan doesn't have a keypad. You want to go to the one that does have the keypad. Whenever you're there, just jump over the railing. The gravity is going to help you, and then punch the numbers that you wrote down from the security station, and that will stop the fan. Now you're in the escape tunnel, and if you die, you will add time to your sentence. So you're officially more of a criminal than you were before. So now that we're in the escape tunnels, you can check the chapter on YouTube. I'm not going to cut any of this out, but I might not commentate it the entire way. But I will give you a couple of tips along the way. So the very first jump, you don't actually jump to the rock platform on your right-hand side. This kills so many players. Simply walk forward. Just walk forward. That's it. Even if you miss this ledge, the game will keep you alive. If you try to jump to the rock on the right, it will give you a bleed and will likely kill you if you don't have any med pens. If you do have some extra med pens, you can use it now if you fuck this up and you have a bleed, but I promise you, you need as many med pens as you can get, so try not to waste them. From here, it's probably just best that you follow the YouTube video if you've never done this before, but the big tip is take a look for the blue flowers. Those are going to show you the way throughout the cave. So if you ever get lost, stop and look around, take a peek and be like, oh yeah, there's a blue flower, I'm heading in the right direction. Now, the most complicated thing about the escape caves with the mission Need an Out is the location of the data chip. The data chip body can be in multiple locations, but the one that's included in this video is the most common location by far. There has only been one other time where the body was not there, and I will include it at the end of this escape run. If your body is in a different location than in this video, then you might just have to get creative and try to figure it out, or try to find a YouTube video online or a wiki. I have personally never done those jumps, so I can't really share something with you guys that I haven't experienced, but hopefully the body is going to be in the same location as you see in this video. Again, I will show the only two that I've actually been able to experience. So I'll let you guys watch these jumps until we get closer to where you collect the data chip. Okay, now it's time to collect the data chip. The biggest tip that I have for you is run and jump for these next couple of jumps, because you just got to commit to it. There's no messing around. You really just got to trust in the gravity and your momentum. Line yourself up with this small platform on the edge of the mountain, run and jump, look towards the body, run and jump, and you loot the body. It's honestly not as bad as it looks in this video. I'll play it one more time for you. I know the first time that I did this, I was rather intimidated. So again, center your character, looking directly towards that platform at the wall, run, and then just jump at the last second and let your body move towards the wall. Your body will hit the cliff or even just land on the platform, and there's even a little guardrail there, so you're more safe than you believe. Look at the body, again, start running and immediately jump. Let the gravity take you over to the ledge, don't panic, and it's going to be really simple. The data chip is going to be located in the backpack, so double click on it or right click and open, drag the backpack, and make sure you wait for pending to be done. Make sure that says 0 in the top left. Don't move until that says 0, or just give it a couple seconds, because you don't want to be jumping away and then notice that the server didn't register you looting that data chip and you're already out of the caves and you forgot. To jump off the platform, because that was pretty quick, all you got to do is look towards that purple light and run and jump, and you'll be able to safely make it to the rocks behind you. Once you have the data chip, one of the most difficult steps in the process has been complete, so give yourself a pat on the back and start working towards the exit. Before we escape the tunnels, I just want to show you another location where the data chip could be, laying on the body before the big jump across the chasm. If it happens to be there, I actually don't think it's wise to just walk off the side, because I think gravity will take you into the hole. Try this jump instead, and there's a couple of other angles that will work for this, but this is the one that worked for me. So once I get to this position, I just want to line myself up just like the other jump from before, and I want to run and jump aiming for the ledge of the platform. Again, it looks pretty intimidating, but it's the only real way that I could see myself getting on top of this platform without slipping and falling from other positions. The obvious risk is hitting yourself on the side of the mountain there and falling to your death. This jump definitely feels a bit riskier than the other one, but that is how I was actually able to get it done. Congratulations, you made it out of the escape caves, one of the most difficult parts of the process. So now it's going to get a little interesting with what we call the toe lasers. So you want to jump over this box and take it real easy. All right, take it easy. Go prone right away. There has been a time where I was crouching under a crouching laser and it still killed me. So go prone and actually wait a couple seconds. Let the server catch up to your player controller's movements. There have been times where I've been in the right position and the laser still killed me. That was likely due to server lag. So just chill, take it easy, go prone, crawl under the lasers until you get to the section with double lasers and a box on the right-hand side. Slowly and carefully jump on top of the box, take it real easy, don't panic, and then jump off of the box. You need to jump off the box towards the computer screens. Now, if you're going to be doing the vehicle method of escaping, these are the codes that you need to write down or take a photo of to check to see if the Ursas have actually spawned. Because we're doing the on-foot method, every second counts, so it's just not worth your time to even check to see if container number 1 has a functioning Ursa. Trust me, it really does come down to the wire, so simply ignore it. The best thing to do is ignoring the codes completely and just act like the Ursas aren't even there. Trust me, I've done this a few times where I'm like, oh, I should just check. And it really does come down to the wire. Every second does count. So if you go and waste that time, you might not actually make it, and you've wasted like a half an hour that you could have not have wasted if you just committed to the on-foot method. So we're going to be going towards the extraction here, and you can jump up on this ledge, but don't go out of the ventilation shaft. Take a look at your oxygen. We're currently sitting at 63% oxygen, and we need to set up our hands. So you want to put 1 oxygen pen on your character and 1 med pen on your character. I would also consider putting a keybind for dropping item from hands, and then also praying to the Star Citizen gods, because the only way you're not making it out of here alive is if the servers betray you and your hands bug out, not allowing you to drop spent med pens or equipping new ones. So before you leave, make sure you use a fresh oxygen pen. That is very important. Use it at the start and then get those pens lined up on your character and ready to rock. Whenever you have 100% oxygen and you're ready to go, leave the ventilation shaft and it's go time. Do not stop moving at all if you can help it. Now we're going to be going up the first set of stairs. There's going to be a hole. Jump it. Don't forget, there's a hole in the stairs. There's nothing worse than getting out of the escape caves and falling through the stairs. My boy Pep has done it far too many times. I've seen it happen right in front of my eyes. There's going to be another hole. Jump it. Press spacebar. Keep running. Just press the spacebar and keep on going to the top of the stairs. You're going to be seeing these black boxes on the left. Simply walk. Don't jump. Simply walk up those and do a light jump. Now it's time to just work up these orange pipes. When you're at the top, you want to go immediately to the left, jump over to the railing, and line your character up with that 4K distance marker and hold Shift and W and just keep on moving. I've experimented with just simply running, and I've also experimented with like running and jumping. There doesn't seem to be much of a difference. I would do a run jump whenever you're elevated and you're going down a mountain, and I would also use it whenever going up a mountain sometimes to give you a bit more velocity. So for the most part, you are just going to be running directly at this object marker on your horizon for a good few minutes. Now, for the sake of YouTube, I will speed this process up because you're literally just Shift W on the keyboard and running towards the marker. There really isn't much that you need to consider at this very moment. So now it's time to deal with the oxygen level in the lower left. So remember that oxygen pen that you equipped at the start. Make sure that you press C or hold C and bring that out into your hands and apply it. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for the server to catch up, so don't panic if it doesn't look like it applied right away. Drop the spent med pen. Sometimes it doesn't, it stays in your hands, or just press C to holster it and just keep on running. So that's going to be good for your oxygen levels for now. Now it's time to keep your eye on the health. As the survival estimate gets lower, you're going to start to lose HP gradually over time because your body is literally being cooked inside of its suit. While you're doing this, pray to the Star Citizen server gods, because there are plenty of times where my hands bugged out, or my med pens would not equip, or the med pen would not drop from my hands. You also don't want to be standing still while doing this if you can actually time it correctly. Whenever you're going to be running over these hills and jumping through the air, that is going to be the time to open up your inventory and make sure you re-equipped 2 med pens. Oxygen should not be an issue anymore at this point, so you just want to focus on med pens. Whenever they are equipped, you can just press C to bring one up really easily, and if it gets stuck in your hands and you see that it's empty, just drop it on the ground with the hotkey or drag it to the ground from the inventory screen. The most important thing is the less that you stand completely still, the higher the probability that you're going to have to survive, and the more med pens that you acquired down in Klesher, the increased probability you'll have to survive as well. Now, before we get there, I want to mention that whenever you escape from Klesher, it's going to put out an alert on the server that you've escaped and that you're a fugitive, and there's going to be a mission that players can accept to come and kill you. Now, luckily, a lot of the players are not going to be near Aberdeen or Klesher, so they're going to accept the mission and see your location and see that you're actually in Klesher rehabilitation and realize it's probably not worth the effort to come over there because you're likely just in jail in the quest bugged out. But if you see a player come directly to your location across the horizon and kill you, that's how they knew your location. It's a risk, but you know, that's what you get for trying to escape jail. At this point, victory is in sight, but also this is the most critical time. You are about to die and victory is just along the horizon. Make sure you equipped fresh med pens for this process. You might even need to stop like I did just right there. The most important is you just keep re-upping fresh med pens and keep moving towards your target. You want to get inside the Cutlass Black or an Ursa, whatever is there. In my case, there was an Ursa from another player that was already there. But getting inside the Cutlass Black by opening up the rear of the vehicle, and you'll see me do that during this attempt as well. I initially go for the Ursa and then go into the Cutty Black. You will have time to do that, so don't fear. Just, I happened to see the open Ursa, which was closer for this attempt. So when should you use your med pen? Whenever your health gets around 30 to 40. I wouldn't let it go lower than that simply because of server lag. It would be just tragic at this point that you use a full fresh med pen at 30 HP and the server lags and doesn't apply the healing until later. So that's why you want a little bit of a buffer zone to just factor in things that are out of your control. So again, the main goal here, just keep on running, keep on acting normal, almost ignore that server survival estimate and just focus on your HP. Anytime it gets to the 40s, that's whenever you want to pop the pen, just like you see here, and keep on moving towards the target. Now, I've only successfully done this a few times after experimenting with various mechanics in this stage, because it's a pretty difficult thing to do, because each run takes about 35 to 40 minutes just to get to this point. So experimentation is still well on its way, but this is the sure way that I know how to do it. So if I was to change anything from what you guys see in this video, I wouldn't even get into the back of the Ursa. I would immediately get into the Cutlass. Getting into a vehicle is going to be reducing your temperature slowly over time because your exterior temperature is going to be different inside of a vehicle, but your internal temperature is still going to be cooking you to death. When I'm inside the Ursa, I can't take my helmet off because I'm going to suffocate and die because there's no atmosphere on the moon. So getting into the back of the Cutlass and closing the door would allow me to take my helmet off faster, and without a helmet or even gear, you cool down faster. But if you take off your suit, you take off your backpack, you lose your med pens. So taking off your helmet is really your only option. Eventually, while I'm in the back of this Ursa, I realized this might be a decent idea. So I changed my plan. I'm like, hey, we got to get out of here. Let's get into the back of the Cuddy so I can take my helmet off. So I pop one more med pen, I run to the back of the Cutlass, I hit the ramp access, close it up, and I take my helmet off. Now, if you think your server is doing well and your health is pretty decent after a med pen, you can take your helmet off and drink water, and that's going to really cool you down pretty fast. At least I believe that's how it works. So it's pretty risky. So if you have lots of med pens, I would just keep popping med pens with your helmet off. But as you can see, the moment that I took my helmet off, it really started to take my internal temperature down quite a bit, and I stopped losing health. I also drank some water, and I believe that helped cool me down. But I mean, again, it's optional. If you just want to take all the med pens and forget the water, that's okay. But taking off the helmet does cool you down faster than keeping it on for sure. So once you're inside the Cuddy, be sure to do that. And once you're no longer losing HP, put the helmet back on. Do not forget this step. Make sure the helmet is back on. It's very important because we're not done. We've survived the run on Aberdeen, which is the most difficult part, but we still have some things to do. We got some work to do. Now, you might be drugged up a little bit. And if you are, maybe wait a little bit until you're below 75%, because that is going to reduce your walking speed, and you do need it because there are going to be armed guards that are going to try to kill you while you're putting the data chip inside of the computer. And I only found out this because of trial and error. So thankfully, my server was a little bit more on the leggy side. Inside the back of the Cutlass Black, there's a group of guards that are just hanging out, I don't know, trying to survive. I was like, what's going on there? But just ignore them, run to the back, and go to the computer, put the data chip in your hand, insert it into the computer, and you have successfully cleared your crime stat. You are no longer a fugitive. You've completed the mission for Ruto, and you can safely take the Cutlass Black and leave Aberdeen. Oh. So people told me that this wasn't possible, and I'm happy to show you that in fact it is. It's important that this works because it greatly increases the probability of you escaping jail without relying on the Ursa ground vehicles that practically never spawn, or at least they don't spawn for me. Now, all in all, this is going to take about 35 minutes of your time. It took me roughly 10 minutes to get the supplies gathered and accepting the mission from Ruto and making it back to the beginning of the mining chamber. And that's extremely fast. You're probably saying, what, like, that's exceptionally quick because the mining tunnels suck. Route 3 is considerably faster than the other routes. It's basically like a straight line. So if you take Route 3, it will cut down your time by at least 5 minutes, I guarantee it. So it really just depends on how long your prison sentence is. If you have a relatively short prison sentence that is only a few hours, it's actually just better for you to accept the oxygen kiosk mission, do that mission, maybe go outside of the comm array status in the tunnel, knock out a couple of guards, gather a bunch of Hadanite, go and turn that Hadanite in, and you're probably going to escape. I would only consider doing this if you think it'd be really fun, or if you have a level 4 or level 5 crime stat with like 12 plus hours of prison time, or maybe even closer to a day plus of prison time, because that's going to take you longer to reduce your sentence in jail than it would be to just escape. But it's also important to know that if you fail, it's going to increase the time that you need to spend in prison. So you need to just weigh your odds. But what I will tell you is it's a hell of a lot of fun, and I can't believe I was able to pull this off. And I just couldn't wait to share this with you guys. Listen, you're wearing a Hurston security suit, but I'm a free man. I got no stat, all right? Swear to God.
You've got a prisoner outfit on now.
I escaped on foot. I bounced on foot.
So you escaped?
Yeah, but I cleared my crime stat with this mission. So I'm good. I got no crime, dude. I'm free.
Nice, and you've got lovely clothes to
yeah, I was wondering if the game was going to allow me to keep it. Because technically, I'm not like an escapee. If I get killed, you know, I'm not going back to jail. So I'm curious to see if I get to keep the suit. Boys, you have a great day doing your totally free, lawful citizen activities.
You too. Well, try not to commit any crime, and if you do, make it worthwhile.
Listen, you know what? I can't say that I won't, because I'd be a liar. See you later, boys. I'm hitting the burrito bar. I'm a free man. As somebody that enjoys the unlawful missions in Star Citizen, this method is honestly game changer, especially whenever you're trying to do the missions that require level 5 crime stat that gets you stuck in jail for well over a day of time. It's also going to save your friends from traveling all the way across the verse to pick you up, only to go to Security Post Korea to try to clear your crime stat, and there's plenty of bugs that are associated with that, and also giving out an alert to all the players in the area to come and PvP you at the station, not including turrets and missiles and so many things that can go wrong. The fact that you clear your crime stat completely makes this method, in my opinion, the most reliable and powerful for all you prisoners out there. Good luck, and I hope this helps you out. Also, consider subscribing here on YouTube and watching the live stream Monday through Friday starting at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.